Okay. So
we can do it like car. Raymond.
I'm Colin Burrows, and this is the Woodstein Media Podcast, Episode 2. This podcast is adapted from interviews conducted for articles on Wood-stein.ca, and it is produced on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, Anishinaabe, and Odawa peoples. And the interview was conducted on the territory of the Anishinaabe Nation, the people of the three fires known as Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. Further thanks are given to the Chippewas of Saugeen and the Chippewas of Nawash, known collectively as the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, as the traditional keepers of this land. Episode 2 features an interview conducted with Raymond King, a hip-hop artist sharing his life experiences through songs released as Wendego. This interview was conducted just outside Sauble Beach, where King was raised. This podcast and Woodstein Media are independently produced journalism that you can support through Patreon or by donating through PayPal at woodstein.ca, WOOD-STEIN.ca. Thanks for your interest and support. If you enjoy this podcast, you can support it by listening to more episodes and liking, sharing, commenting, or reviewing them. Thanks for listening. Okay, so we're in the area where you grew up. Drugs have been in your life before music was?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll talk about how they came into your life.
I think I was kind of introduced to drugs at a young age because I saw it. My uncle did drugs, so I knew about it before I really knew about creating music or anything like that. It was there before being an artist was there. But growing up in Sauble, and as a teen, you start partying, right? As everybody does when they're teens. But the difference when you're in Sauble as opposed to when you say party in Owen Sound or a normal city, where you just stay normal with your normal crew, and it can be repetitive. It can get repetitive. It can be, we're all drinking every day. We're all smoking dope every day. We're all doing meth every day. And you can kind of see a cycle. Whereas opposed to in Sauble, you grow up and you're drinking every night, but it's with new people. It's with a new environment.
It's a tourist town.
Yeah, it's a tourist town. You bounce around and you meet new people every single day. Names were like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Ray, and then they tell me their name and I'd be like, okay, guy. Because I was so bad at remembering names. Puppy. Looks like he needs to go fishing. But yeah, it was easy to get into a cycle of using drugs and drinking all the time here because it was just a giant party for a long time.
And that's why people come to these towns too.
You come here to party. Hey, it's easy to find a party when there's a party on every corner. Hey, it's a different cottage. Let's go to the next cottage.
How many years did I pray on my knees, begging to a God wouldn't hear my plea? Signed a deal with the devil at the age 15, just a little punk kid. I lost everything. With nothing on my back but a Pennywise teeth, a con backpack, bit of jib and some G. Running from the ghost, still chasing me. Eating all the fruit from the apple tree. Cause the snake lies, and if I tried, I'd forget all the hurt deep inside me. Just another lie, I believe so blindly. PTSD, the demon
comfort.
Hello, you reached the Central North Correctional Center.
Silent now.
Just when that sounds good. Go ahead.
They let me out 2013 when I was 23, not knowing what I'd seen, what I'd been would change everything. Oxycodone fiend at 19 with nothing to my name but a rockstar pipe dream. Should've say a pipe in a dream, cause all my fucking dreams burnt back like bromine. 150 pounds with the ring away slowly. Shit's a fucking snake, still the ring below me. Just another fix and I won't die lonely. She's the only bitch that seems to know me. She lives in my dreams but she fucks my homies. I walk in the bank and I don't want danger. Don't want your life, I don't want your paper. One in the mag, got one in the chamber. Call the fucking cops cause they in my favor. When they come through the door to take me down, I send both rounds at the ground. When they light me up, you see me smile, cause I'm coming home, fuck, it's been a while,
That was Blindfold by Wendego, and it is available at wendegomusic.bandcamp.com. Your hashtag, fuck fentanyl. Fentanyl is a huge issue right now, but it's not fentanyl directly always. It's contaminated drugs.
Yeah, so you don't even know what you're getting anymore. I know a lot of guys that are addicted to coke still, and you don't even know what you're getting in your blow anymore. You normally trust. Like, I know a couple guys that have been doing blow for years and years and years, and they died this past year because they got some bad shit. And it's like, you think you'd know after doing it for years and years and years, you should be able to tell your drugs apart, but it's really easy to get in there. You don't even know. It's dropping people left, right, and center.
How many friends do you figure you've lost?
I don't know.
It's just too many.
I don't know anymore. I actually don't know. It's like, it's an epidemic. It's really bad. And like, I have friends that are still alive that are basically dead.
Just because the damage it did?
The damage they did, and their mentality is just gone.
The music you're doing now, it addresses the issues that you grew up with.
Yeah, so when I was in treatment, they kind of taught me a lot of ways to deal with my emotions and with grief and you know, because a lot of that led to my using, right? Like not knowing how to deal with that shit led with, okay, well, you know what, I was sexually abused, I'm gonna start doing drugs. It wasn't connected, like, hey, I got abused, I'm gonna go do drugs.
Yeah.
But once I started doing the drugs, all of a sudden I forgot about that. You know what I mean? And that thing kind of takes over. You start doing that. But what was the question again?
About addressing it in your music.
So I address it in my music because that's one of the ways that the treatment taught me to like utilize, instead of you know what, I'm upset, I'm gonna go drink to feel better, or I'm gonna go use to feel better. I write it out now. That's one of the ways. There's many ways you can do it. Deal with, like, there's positive ways to deal with your triggers and stuff like that. But mine's writing, and I do that for me, and in turn I just hope it helps other people that hear it, right?
You're addressing it through the music, but earlier we had a conversation about how much you're seeing drug use in the music industry when you're out doing things. So how does that work together? Is it a challenge seeing all that?
I'm really, really happy that I'm almost 11 years clean, because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now if I was in my first or second year. There's so much temptation. Everybody, hey man, we'll just go out to the car and do a rail, and I'll go out to the car and smoke a bong. Like, you know what I mean? I'm cool smoking weed, bro. Like, but I'm good on that other stuff. Yeah. And it's everybody. I go to shows, and it's like all the artists slip in, and all of a sudden you disappear. And what I was taught in the metal community, and especially in the punk community as well, is the etiquette of, hey, these guys just watched me play, so why don't I stay and watch them play? That's not an etiquette with hip hop. It's like they get up, they're gone. They get up, they're gone. They go do their drugs in the back, and then you know, the community I try to find. I'm trying to collaborate with people. Like, hey man, let's work together and stuff like that. And I don't really want to collaborate with somebody if they don't care to fucking see what I'm doing, right?
And so in the work you've been doing, there has been a number of collaborations recently. Mm-hmm. And
more to come.
So you are finding people who are on the same wavelength?
Yeah, I'm not trying to, like, I'm not biased. I don't, if an artist is using, mm-hmm. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to work with that guy. You know what I mean? If I like your music, I like your music, regardless of what you're doing. But I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not going to do what you're doing. But
you're not starting a straight edge scene in.
No, and I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but I'm going to try and tell people what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and then trying to share my story about it. But
so it's kind of I'm doing what's right for me, and you're just kind of it's not a discussion. You're not telling people. You're not forcing it on other people.
I hope that people see what I have and see that it like makes me happy, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm not out back stressing out because of something so like minuscule related to drugs or related to a girl or related to whatever. I think genuine, what's the word I'm looking for? Integrity. Okay. So I think when you have integrity, it attracts. Integrity attracts.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think if I just
it gives you a certain charisma, like that people.
Oh, look at that big bass running away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it. And the people that want that sobriety are gonna hear that message in it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The people that don't, they're not gonna hear that message in anything. Yeah. Right? It doesn't matter what you throw at them. If that song's out there, maybe somebody's at that point in their life and they can hear that.
And sometimes it's just that. It's like a point in your life. One time you're in your party years and you're not going to hear that. So
you got to hit that rock bottom. It's basically what it is. I mean, if you don't hit that rock bottom, you don't know how far down you can go.
And sometimes it's a matter of hopefully you'll hit that rock bottom before it's too late. Yeah.
A lot of my friends right now, like I was just talking to my friend this morning. We were trying to find a friend that we used to hang out with back in the day that is alive and not in prison. And we couldn't. I lied. There was one guy. And he's doing all right. He's sober. He's working. But he's sober. And that's the only way he's alive and not in jail. All the other guys, like my one guy's in for an attempted murder right now. One of my best buddies from when I was a teenager, over drugs. Yeah, it's craziness. The word, like, it's everywhere.
Wendego. Hellnback.
I was born in the cold snow with an old school flow. Yo, it's Wendego, I'll break it down for you real slow. Native, pride, indigenous. contradiction, OPP submission, mission in position of traditions. That is Canada's tradition. Spitting ammunition in every bar that I write. Every clip that I load, we get to spark it tonight. Verbal casings, lay around. Wendego and Hellnback could bid you farewell.
When you try to go and tell them there's a reason for the red dress, they never listen about the women missing. When you try to go and tell them about my people in distress, but they never listen, it's almost a tradition. When you try to go and tell them there's a reason for the red dress, they never listen about the women missing. When you try to go and tell them about my people in distress, but they never listen, it's almost a tradition. Never let another man go and tell you how to live, especially if the man don't care about your kids. Stay up on the path that your elders forged for you. Living just to die was not the path for you. All my natives who've been fighting just to get the belt retightened. Never live a life that's bright and keep elevated height. And I'm here for when you fall. As natives got big shoulders, gotta lift your whole nation with your work as you get older. If you tend to go and stumble, don't worry about the soldiers, cause it's when you're weak, it's when they carry you up over. Never been religious, but I feel a higher power. Been a little stressed even in the final hour. Make a name for my people under lead showers. In the end, I'm a martyr. In the end, you're a coward. In the end, I'm a martyr. In the end, you're a coward. In the end, I'm a martyr. In the end, you're a coward. When you try to go and tell them there's a reason for the red dress, they never listen about the women missing. When you try to go and tell about my people in distress, but they never listen, it's almost a tradition. When you try to go and tell them there's a reason for the red dress, they never listen about the women missing. When you try to go and tell about my people in distress, but they never listen, it's almost a tradition.
Surviving in the system, it ain't nothing new to me. I did my time behind these bars, I got my scars up on the streets. From the west of Adelaide to the SOUND, always on the run, they call me Ruckus with the fucking Z. Yo, tell me, what you Mounties gonna do? Hide behind your guns all day and say these savages are doomed. Yo, toss us in a crowded cell with nothing but a toothbrush. Bitch, we've been to hell and back and we know Trudeau's a true bitch. Blackface, two-face, leader in the oil race, looking like his father fucking disgraced. You're all his little puppets and you know this ain't a lie. Bring your fucking fascist army and you know I'll bring mine. No, I ain't scared to die, a fucking fry. You can put me in the ground, I'll make my baby mama cry. Lock me away, fuck it, I'll do the time. But I'll tell you, Trudeau, you never lock away native pride.
That was Trudeau by Wendego, and it is also available at wendegomusic.bandcamp.com. Trudeau is a collaboration with Hellnback, a veteran in the native hip-hop industry. The song calls out Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the federal government on its history of violence and incomplete promises made to Canada's Indigenous peoples. Hashtag fuck fentanyl. What was your intention in that message on those shirts, and what were you hoping?
What's happening is not pretty. The word fuck is not pretty. And to hashtag fuck fentanyl, like, it's kind of started with the idea of, like, you know, fuck cancer. Mm-hmm. Right? There was the fuck cancer logo that was going around.
Yep.
And everybody we knows somebody who's been touched by cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're in a time now where everybody we know has been touched by addiction.
Yeah.
So now, fuck fentanyl. Like people are, like, a lot of my friends have died from a little fucking speck of white dust.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to use something that it's not pretty. I didn't want it to be pretty. I want to be straightforward and vulgar, and that's what it is. It's not pretty. Like, you're trying to help people, then help people. Who cares how pretty it looks? Like, I stopped charging money for those shirts, and I just started giving them away to people. I said, fuck it. Yeah, I was just like, you know what? Like, I want this message out. Here, take it. At shows, I started throwing them at people. I use them as fucking giveaways. I try to stay involved in, as stupid as it sounds. I'm not a 12-step person. Yep. But I did the 12-step programs. I know all about them. But I don't agree with some of it, like the first step is to admit that you're powerless against alcohol and its effects on your life, right? And I don't believe that I'm powerless. If as soon as we give away our power, we're powerless. You know what I mean? So I have the power to make my choices and my decisions, and so I don't agree with that aspect, but I agree with the aspect of the 12th step of sharing what your sobriety with other people. That's part of my music as well. And on top of it is like what I try to do is I try to stay connected with my friends, even if they're still in addictions, and I try to stay connected and offer that out. Hey man, you know, you can always come fucking chill with me anytime you want. You know what I mean? That's all you can really do though, is offer that out. They have to take it. You can't forcibly kidnap people and throw them in a freaking room and be like, detox motherfucker.
There is some people who want a good life, but they're not ever going to give up drugs. It's just not what they're. Mm-hmm. It's not the choice they want to make. My
sister is an iconic image of that. I don't think the iconic word is word, but it's definitely the right word. But she is that. She wants to do better. She wants better things. She wants her life to be better. She doesn't want to be an addict, but she can't stop. Yeah. It's been years and years. I don't even know how she's alive, dude. Like, I see her and I'm like, is it? Oh, it is so. Because I don't even recognize her. She doesn't come around anymore because she knows too. She's like, I have kids, I have a family, I have things going on in my life, and I don't need that around my house. I don't need to be worried about somebody stealing my stuff to feed an addiction or stealing from my kids, or so she doesn't come around. Okay. But she won't stop. Yeah. You know what I mean? She wants to come around. She wants to see the family. She wants this, but she can't. I don't like. She literally texted me the other day, I wish things were different. And I said, well, change the story. You know, like, rewrite the book. And she's like, I can't. I don't want to. She's like, I'm destined to be a junkie, and that's what I'm going to be. I don't want anything different. And it's like,
some of the things that turn people around, you don't want to ever see these things happen to people. Another guy I'm going to be interviewing, it took his brother dying. Yeah. That sort of shit. You just.
My cousin Clarence was shot on the reserve 2 or 3 years ago, and it was over drugs. My buddy, he came home from Toronto, and I don't even think he was home a couple months, and he just passed away 2 weeks ago. Like there's probably, I don't know, at least a death a month on the reserve, if not going close to it. It's really bad.
It is.
It's hard to think about and talk about. Like,
thanks for listening. Thanks to Raymond Wendego King for the interview and all the great music he creates. Check the description wherever you are listening to this for links to more information, or visit Wood-stein.ca. That's WOOD-STEIN.ca. You can support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Colin Burrows. Like, share, comment, follow, and support Woodstein Media and this podcast. And have a wonderful day. Now get off your ass and do something.